Hi folks, Dave, the Honest Audiophile. This is the HarmonicDyne Devil, and these are my Honest Audiophile impressions. I want to thank Linsoul for providing the HarmonicDyne Devil for review. Do greatly appreciate it. Linsoul, you rock. Alright, so the HarmonicDyne Devil. It'll set you back $200 from your bank account. It has two 10mm dynamic drivers inside, impedance of 5 ohms, sensitivity is 123 decibels, a frequency range of 5 Hz to 40 kHz, and it comes in this pretty standard black box. A little bit of branding on the front says HarmonicDyne. You get specs, and then when you open it up, you get an area for your IEMs, a coin, and some accessories that pull out on the tray. So a decent little unboxing. What are those accessories and what coin are you talking about? Oops. Well, here's your coin. Says HarmonicDyne on one side, Devil on the other, and includes the serial number. Serial number for this one is 89. I guess they give you the coin so you can flip it and decide whether or not you like it or you don't. Oh, whatever. Alright, so other accessories. You get a carrying case, hard shell, a little bit of branding on the outside. Nothing different about this. You get a little pocket, nice bed. Yeah. You get a cable tie that is made of fake leather, and it's actually not quite thick enough to really hold the cable together. You get a 1/4-inch adapter, and then you get 2 containers of wide bore silicone tips. No foams included. Found that kind of strange. So the first pair of tips that you get are clear black stem tip, and then the other ones are, if I can get the container open here, pure black. And I found that the tips did impact sound a little bit. The black ones were a little bit more, a little more flat in the bass, a little more linear sounding, and brighter up top and hotter in the mids and in the treble. And then the clear ones with black stems, those are a little bit firmer in the feel of them, and they seem to have a little bit more bass impact and to be a little bit more tame in the mids and in the treble presentation. So I used the clear black stem ones, but not really, because neither one of them really fit my ears very well. Neither one of them were very comfortable, and I really couldn't handle the sonics of them, so I used Dakoni foam tips instead. Alright, so you get the IEM. You get a fabric cable, has a very unique connection on the end. You can get it terminated in 3.5 or 4.4. This is 3.5 version. You get this curved connection. It's kind of heavy, kind of chunky, but it feels durable. And then you get a metal split here, no cinch. And then you get ear hooks that are fairly well controlled, nice and soft. They do an adequate job of holding things the way they should. Do connect with MMCX connection. Yeah. Anyways, so here's your Devil. Got a faceplate that protrudes out. Nice thick body. A little bit flat of a backside here. And then a decent size nozzle length. And extends nicely when you put the foam tips on, actually. The silicones were a little bit more shallow than that, and they tended to fall out of my ear. So putting the foam tips on helped to support them. One thing of note, these connections here for the MMCXs are permanent. They are a solid piece, curved, and so they may cause problems with fit for some, and they also may cause discomfort depending on how they fit there. So keep that in mind. Cool thing is you can see the vent of the Devil right here on the front of where the faceplate kind of pops out. You can see the vent right there between it and the main body. And that's kind of a neat touch. You don't see that too often. The cable does tend to twist and tangle. All right, so for the comfort with foam tips, they do snug in nicely. I found that it was about 30 to 45 minutes before they really started to pull down and cause issues. It was more of a problem with the silicone tips, but with foam tips, they were able to sit a little bit better in my ears, and I didn't have as much of a comfort problem. But with the silicones, it was really, really bad. Probably about 20, 30 minutes and maximum listening time before they were just aching to come out. With the foams, I probably can get about upwards 45 minutes before it's a problem. Isolation of outside noises is good. You're probably somewhere in about the 70-75% of outside noises being blocked. They do a very good job, especially with foam tips. Silicone, not so good. You're probably 60-65% or so of outside noises blocked. Good for office spaces. Working here at the house, I had no issues when things were going on, like TV out in the living room, dogs barking, things like that. I had no problems blocking that out and just being able to focus on music. Going around the neighborhood, did a good job. Did not do any public transit or anything extremely loud settings, so I'm not sure how it would work in that, but I think it would do pretty well, especially if you used foam tips. They're fairly easy to drive with 5 ohms, 123 decibels of sensitivity. Pretty much anything was able to drive them, but they did have a tendency to hiss on higher output impedance devices. And I found that anything here on the desk, whether it would be Mytek Liberty DAC 2, Aueze Deckard, Audom X1S GT, Headamp GSX Mini, Drop THX 1 linear, anything with high output impedance, they were hissy. So if you are going to use them on something with higher output impedances, recommend that you get something like an IFI IE match to be able to help to alleviate that issue. But as far as dongles, which is the way that I use them, had no problems driving them whatsoever. They are extremely source picky though on presentation. So if your source has a more clinical, sterile, cold, brittle type of sound, the Devil will not be friendly. They will shred your ears, and it will be painfully obvious that they do not like being on a cold clinical source. I found that I prefer them with something with a warmer sound, especially with foam tips. Warmer sound and foam tips were my friend. Anything brittle, cold, sterile, even with foam tips, was not a friend of mine when using the Devil. So I recommend a warmer sound, something like a NextDrive Spectra X and foam tips, and the Devil becomes a little bit more pleasant. Before we get into the sonic impressions of the HarmonicDyne Devil, I want to thank my supporters through Patreon and YouTube memberships. Thank you very much for all that you provide for the channel, and thank you for your funding, as it helps to bring more products in for review. It also helps to bring in products to be used to compare. Also, it provides gear that can produce the videos and help to make it look a little bit better. Lights, stands, microphones, that sort of thing. Also, it provides coffee so that I can sip that while doing the reviews and listening to the HarmonicDyne Devil and comparing it to other products so that I can present the review. So thank you very much for all that you give to the channel. If you're interested in supporting the channel, please check out the links down below for Patreon and YouTube memberships. Also, if you want to give a one-time gift, there's links for PayPal and Venmo. Also, while you're down there, don't forget to give a thumbs up if you're enjoying the video, thumbs down if you're not. If you haven't already, subscribe and hit that notification bell. That way you'll know when the next video from the Honest Audiophile is uploaded. Okay, so the HarmonicDyne Devil. When I first put these on and I started listening, I asked myself, what the devil is this? The bass of the HarmonicDyne Devil. What bass? The bass is pretty much non-existent. There is literally a very dull sounding bass to the HarmonicDyne Devil. Very little texture, very, very little impact, and lots of detail. Okay tone, okay timbre, and all right resolution. But where's the body? Where's the guts to the bass? There's no oomph. There's no grrr. There's no wallop to the bass. It's just kind of, oh, I'm here. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? That's the bass. It's like literally non-existent. There's not much to it. You get a lot of detail. And it's resolved all right. And it has decent tonality to it. But it's just not present. It's like way back in the back of the room, and everybody else is talking loud, so you just can't hear you even when you talk, because your talk is so quiet. It's just a very timid and shy, and just I don't want to be loud. I want people to hear me, but I'm afraid to speak up. That's the bass of the HarmonicDyne Devil. What the devil is that? Then the mids. The mids are very recessed and timid and shy in the lower part. And then you get to the main mids and the upper mids, and they elevate a lot. They elevate too much. They are a very bright sound, extremely bright. Lots of detail, good amount of resolution, okay tone, okay timbre. But because of that elevation in the upper mids, it's just an unnatural sound. It's very unbalanced, it's very uncohesive, and it has thin note weight, just like the bass. It's like, where are you? There's no body, there's no guts, there's no to it. It's just noise. I don't understand. Where are you? Where are the mids? Oh, wait, you're yelling at me. You're presenting at all the details. You're there, but you're not really there. The treble. The lower treble is like the upper mids. Way too elevated. It is super high. It is intense. And it has lots of detail. Lots of detail. Decently resolving. An okay tone. Okay timbre. But it's unnatural. It's not. It doesn't have body. It doesn't have guts. It's thin sounding. It's just a bunch of noise. There's nothing to it. So, do I like the bass, the mids, and the treble of the Devil? If I want details, sure. But I want more than just details. I want tonality. I want body. I want a natural sound. And the Devil just doesn't give it to me. It's just a bunch of noise. Stage. Width is good. It has a slightly bigger than average size width. It does an okay job of giving you expanse across the stage. Depth is all right. It's not anything super special, but it does okay, and it doesn't sound crowded or cramped. It has enough space for things to move around. And then speaking of moving around, imaging is good. It's a very solid. You get some nice accuracy to it. You can pinpoint things and go, it's right there, it's right there. Even though the depth isn't the deepest and it's not the widest, you can still position things and notice whether something is in front or in back, and if things move across the stage and flow properly, and it does a good job at that. Detail retrieval. That's the star of the show with the HarmonicDyne Devil. It has a ton of detail retrieval. There is not a detail left behind. Every detail is revealed. Nothing hides. It's there, and it presents it. You want a detail, you're going to hear it. And sometimes you don't need to hear every detail. And this is a very, very detailed IEM. Resolution is all right. It's not anything spectacular here. And it's even kind of a little lackluster for $200 IEM. I find that it's okay, but it's not setting any, records. And it's kind of disappointing. There's moments of harshness, a little bit of glariness, and at times just a little bit of just too much shimmer and glare and glassiness. But it still does a good job of resolving what it provides. I just wish it was a little bit more defined and refined in that area. Tone. It's okay. It has its moments, but it's not a natural sound. It's too elevated in the upper mids and lower treble region, and it just throws off the accuracy of a lot of instruments. Instruments will sound, all right, and then they'll be uneven, and it's just not a true natural sound. Timbre is all right. You can kind of track instruments and follow them and distinctly tell which one is which. For the most part, sometimes the tone will cause issues. So, the HarmonicDyne Devil. I wanted to like this, and I was curious because you don't see a whole lot of dual dynamic $200 price point IEMs, and yeah, maybe you'll like it if you like details. How's it compared to a couple other dual dynamics I have? Now, I haven't reviewed a ton of true dual dynamic IEMs, but there were two that really caught my eye and caught my ear when I was listening to them and reviewing them. First one is the Truth Ear Crin Zero. The Crin Zero has more bass impact, more body, a more natural tone and timbre, and is more pleasurable to listen to in the uppers and in the treble. Even though I still have to use foam tips with the Crin Zero, it's just a more pleasurable sound because it has more body. It has more note weight, and it just has a more engaging sound and a more pleasant sound. Soundstage-wise, is about the same width, about the same depth. It's not quite as detailed as the Devil is, but it is better resolving. I would take the Crin Zero over the Devil. And then the other one that really surprised me, which is a dual dynamic, was the TINHIFI T2. TINHIFI T2 is more neutral and natural sounding, has more bass impact, especially in the mid bass and upper bass. Definitely has more body weight and has a more natural tone and timbre, and it just sounds accurate and true. It's not quite as detailed as the Devil is, and it's not quite as resolving, but the T2 definitely is a better sounding IEM and a more accurate and true. Has a wider stage, does better with depth, does better with imaging and placement and accuracy. I find that the T2 would be my pick compared to the Devil. And in fact, I would take the T2 over the Crin Zero. But that's for a different discussion. So, the HarmonicDyne Devil. I just have one way to end this video. What the devil is this? It's been Dave, the Honest Audiophile. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video. Speaking of next video, somewhere on the screen, subscription links, notification bells. If you haven't already, please check those off. Then don't forget to check out the links down below. There's all kinds of information down there regarding how you can contact the channel, follow the channel, support the channel. And there's recommendations for gear and music and tier lists and all kinds of other things. So check out the links down below. Don't forget to enjoy the music, and that honesty is the best policy. And HarmonicDyne, what the devil is this?